What's up, guys? Marc Mendez here, the real estate coach. Filming another episode of Everyday People. I'm excited about all my episodes to get people's story out there, but sometimes some stories are just a little bit, they have just kind of like the right kind of motivation in them. Not that others don't, but easy kind of swing by the park motivations. And I think our next guest, Brandon McCoy, has somebody that can display and give you some good encouraging tips on how he's overcame things in his life, many things in his life. So without further ado, let's get Brandon McCoy. I call him the man, the myth, the legend, but we're going to get him on the phone right now.
Hello?
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brandon McCoy.
Hey, what's good, Mark?
Doing?
What's going on? I'm doing good, man.
Hey, man, it's good to hear from you. So just a background story, my godson needs some training. Boo-Boo, who's looking slow as ever, slower than me, which is hard to do. Although he beat me in the race that day. I won't talk about that. But, hey, man, I appreciate you getting him out there. I heard he hasn't gone back, so I need to check on that. But tell us a little about your story, Brandon, man. I know your story, but my goal is to put your story out there. So I want you to tell any part, start anywhere you want, because you've had some obstacles, man, and I just want to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, well, you want to hear my story. I mean, my story starts, man, when my mom passed, man, back in '98. She passed away from cancer, breast cancer, and that was some trying times, man. I was playing football at Columbia. I was a little kid, I was about 11, 12.
Columbia. Shout out Columbia.
Yeah. That's where it started, man, for me and many of my friends. So my mom passed away. I took it. It was real hard, man. I was in middle school. I was in sixth grade. Got in trouble a few times and stuff like that because, I had no outlet,
Mm-hmm.
I just had football. So that's where it started. Went to John Jay, played ball there, went to school and stuff, graduated, did my thing there. And then I went off to TLU. Now, when I went to TLU, my first year, I didn't play. I had to do what was it? Like the very first, camp and stuff like that. You're there trying out and stuff like that. Like I didn't have no dorm room, man. Like it was crazy. Like I had to drive to campus, man. Like I was driving from San Antonio to TLU. I had no room.
Are you serious?
And I remember Coach O'Neal was like, we were practicing. I was going hard, man. He goes, I have a guy that drives from San Antonio every day to be here to practice, and he goes hard every single time.
Wow.
And I wasn't starting, so I was, it was just regular practice and stuff like that. I was second team and stuff like that. And I remember the guy in front of me, man. I had to outwork him, man. So and sure enough, man, I got my opportunity. Played against Trinity. He had went down, got his thumb. He broke his thumb. He went down. They started me this Trinity game, and first interception, man, took it 50 yards to the house, man. First collegiate game.
So let's stop. Hold on. I got to ask you a question. What in your right mind has you driving from San Antonio to TLU every single day? You're not even a starter. You don't have a place to sleep. What is your mind?
Man,
what's your mind process in that?
I always told myself, man, I want to play college football, man, and I was determined, man. I was determined to play football, and I just made it happen. Like I would drive up there, every day. I had no dorm room for maybe the first 2, maybe 3 weeks of school. Like I didn't have no dorm room, So I made it happen, man, and that's the story of that, man. And after that, like I said, I was at TLU, made it happen. Like I said, first collegiate game, did my thing, got an interception and a touchdown all in one play. Then later on in the year, my sophomore year, I was playing and I got in trouble, man. Like I ain't gonna lie, man. I got kicked off the team. Like,
typical John Jay student. God dang, boy.
Yeah, hey, man. True story, man. Ain't got no reason to lie, man. I got kicked off, and one of the guys, I forgot what his name was, an offensive lineman, and he came to my dorm room. He was like, "Hey, McCoy, what you did out there was uncalled for, man. Like, we really needed you on the team, and Coach Miller is a great man, and he's a great philosopher. You need to go talk to him. He's all about giving second chances."
Mm-hmm.
And I was too much in myself because I was the guy. I had been starting. I was the guy. And so I was like, I swallowed my pride. I went over there, I talked to him, and he told me, he sat me down, and he's like, it takes a man to come over here and come talk and apologize for what you did, but I'm not going to let you back on the team. And that right there was like, man, like, God, like this man not going to let me back on the team. I'm like, how am I supposed to explain this to my dad? People know I'm up here, I'm like, I'm not playing ball or nothing. So, I was just a regular student, and
how long
that
were
took
you
away.
kicked off from the team?
So it was like the fifth game of the season. The fifth game of the season. I was on the verge of making all conference. I had two interceptions, a touchdown. I had 15 tackles. I was doing really good. And it was against Mississippi College out there in Jackson, Mississippi, man. Yeah, got kicked off the team.
Dang.
So real life lesson learned, you know what I'm saying? And it changed a lot about my character. This is much more than just football,
Right.
He taught me about being a leader and a character, And Tom Miller, he still messages me to this day. He'll message me and like, hey Brandon, how you doing? And I always apologize every time I see him. Every time I see him, Coach, I'm sorry about the way I acted. And
I feel like that's you, man. You're always just super respectful, super thoughtful of other people, man. So let's transition, right? So we college, you come back. Let's talk about you had a couple pro tryouts that didn't end up working out. I know you started working at Walgreens for a while, became a manager. That's where we kind of crossed paths. You started playing for Duville.
Oh yeah.
And really, the story I kind of also want to get into. There's two other things I want to hit. You being a father, because you're an amazing girl dad. Because how many
I appreciate
girls
that,
you
man.
got?
Thank
4?
you. I got 4. I try my best, man. I'm, I have my faults, but I do my best I can.
Yeah, no, I think everybody sees it. So we want to talk about you being a dad a little bit, but I want to talk about kind of the obstacles you've overcome, because it seems like you've overcome many obstacles at different points in your life. So I really want you to kind of talk about the getting into the teaching one, or maybe the breaking your neck one. I mean, whichever one you want to choose from. But once you talk about whichever obstacle you went through, I want you to tell me, how do you really have the mental fortitude to get through these things?
Yeah. So the breaking neck one happened first. Junior year, I go up for an interception during our spring game, get undercutted by my own teammate, and I come down and I break my neck. My whole right side of my arm is gone. I have no feeling. It's hanging. And it was crazy, man. That whole situation, talking about coming back and being determined, I cried a lot of nights, man. A lot of nights I cried, man, because it was like a nightmare over and over. But I was just determined I wanted to play football. I knew that God kept me here for a reason. I should be pushing a wheelchair. I literally should be pushing a wheelchair. But I'm not, I called one of my friends, Jilly Baker. I called her a lot during the middle of the night when I woke up crying. And she kind of kept me on the path, and I talked to my dad a lot. And he's like, you keep your head, keep your faith on God, and He can see you through. And, and I hold on to my last word she ever told me is to do the best I could do at anything I ever do. So I knew I had to keep pushing forward because, I had, my first daughter, and I know she's dependent on me, and I knew a college education, will help that. So I just strive forward to that. And then the whole teaching aspect, so fast forward through my life, I'm, working at Pease Middle School, and I'm an IA, and I'm trying to take the certification. Everybody said, hey, take the certification so you become a teacher, it's more benefits, you get paid more, you be a great teacher. So I'm there, and I'm trying to take this test, man, and I'm talking about, I cannot pass it to save my life. It has been an uphill battle. And, I took it 2 or 3 times, failed it, and I was just like, this is not for me. And I had to step away for a minute because it was to the point where
it was like consuming.
I felt like, is this for me? Huh?
Yeah, oh, okay. So okay. No, I thought it was saying maybe it was consuming you, but it had the negative thing. Maybe it was a reason why you hadn't passed. That's what you were thinking?
Yeah. I was like maybe I should be doing something else.
Gotcha.
So I went out in the oil field. I went out in the oil field for 6 months. And I was out there, and I had a situation back home, and I was stuck out there. I was like, I can't get home. I was like, no, I cannot do this. Like, I got to be with my family because that's my main thing. Is my dad always told me, take care of your family. Always take care of your family. Make sure you have a house over their head. Make sure you have food in their mouth. Make sure you have the clothes on their back and somewhere to sleep. I was like, I got to take care of my family. So I can't do this. I'll do something else. So I come back, and Chris Mercer, my man, Chris Mercer, he was like, hey.
Shout out Smoke Dog. Shout out Smoke Dog.
Yeah, Smoke Dog. Big Brother 10, man. Big Brother 10, man.
10, man.
He was like, hey, do you still want to teach? I was like, well, yeah. He was like, well, hey, I can get you in at J, and you can come back and be an IA. I was like, all right, cool. Well, during that time, or all before that, we were training. So I was doing sports training too, because I always wanted to give back to my community. If I had made it professionally, come back, like Josh Reynolds does, Chris Ross, a lot of the guys that said to come back, I always wanted to do that, because the training aspect of this all, bring it all together, like we didn't have all that, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to give back. So I'm teaching, and I'm there at J, and I still can't pass this test, man. I'm sitting here like struggling. I'm like, golly, like, and I talked to my wife Stephanie. I was like, hey, like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I do? And she stuck by me, through it all, man. Like,
hold on,
and
real quick. I have to stop. Did you say my wife?
Yeah, I'm gonna call her. Yeah.
Okay, because I there's a running joke, in Duville and everything.
It is a running joke, yeah.
Because somebody, man, put a ring on it already, bro. I'm just gonna say, Stephanie, hey, he needs to put a ring on it already.
Hey, I get it all the time, man, all the time. I mean, I always been told, hey, don't fix it if it's not broken. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
don't fix it if it's not broken.
If it's not broken, man. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's the worst thing I've ever heard in for her why someone doesn't get married. But okay,
no.
So
I mean,
and
that's another part of it. That's another aspect of my life. I mean, everybody comes to those points in their life where they're like, hey, nah, and I'm not saying it never come to that point. It's never going to come to it. Yeah, it's going to come to it. I mean, it's just everybody through phases and stuff like that, man. But I mean, she has been my rock, you know what I'm saying, my backbone. So I mean, my hat's off to her. Like, she's been dealing with me and everything. So back to the whole teaching aspect. The whole teaching aspect. So about 2 years ago, right, I have taken this test like 8 times. 8 times, and they had this thing called SOE. State of eligibility. So I got the state of eligibility, and George Reyes got me hired on that J as a teacher. And I'm like, hey, I got to pass this test. So I get displaced. I get sent to Brennan. So I'm like, man, I got to pass this test, and it's the last time I could take it. Last time I take it. And I've taken it like, I mean, over the course of 8 years, man. Like since 2018, I have been trying to pass this test.
Yeah.
And I prayed and I prayed. I kept my faith on towards God. My dad prayed for me. My Texas teacher mentor prayed for me. And I give everything to God, man. And I passed with a 242.
Man,
and I cried, man, like like a little baby, man, because I mean, it was a lot of uphill struggle. Feeling like you're a failure, feeling like you're never going to get past this. You know what I'm saying? Never feel like you're going to accomplish this goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I looked at my kids like, I felt like I was a failure, man, to them. You know what I'm saying? Because how else am I supposed to provide for them? I'm training. I'm an IA, and I was working like a third job. I was working at the airport. I was working 3 jobs, just like my old man. My old man worked 2 jobs to take care of his family, when I was a kid. And I was grinding out, man. So, but sure enough, I passed it. And hats off to April Watanabe. You know what I'm saying? She really helped me out a lot. She was my co-teacher in my class. Without her, like I said, and my IA, Miss Envy, like I said, I don't think I would ever pass it, man, because they did keep me focused. Like, hey, you need to study for your test, and they always press that reminder, like, hey, and I kept studying, Stephanie here, like, hey, you need to study. She watched the girls and stuff like that, and I'd be in our little office studying. I just kept those factors, man. Like, it was that's what I needed to do to take care of my family. So I overcome those obstacles, like I said, taking it back, man. My mom passed away when I was a kid. I broke my neck. I mean, it was a lot of factors that happened, and failing this test over and over again, and it just told me, like, you know what, you could do this. You got to keep pushing forward no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because anything's possible. So now that I'm training, I see athletes come and, they're wanting to get to the next level. I was like, get to the next level. It takes a lot of hard work.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of hard work. And then you're going to fail at some point. You know what I'm saying? But that failure teaches you a lot of things, like how to prepare the next time. What am I doing wrong? What can I get better at? Am I a step too slow? Am I too fast? You know what I'm saying? And I quite not catch it. You know what I'm saying? Am I running my routes right? You know what I'm saying? Am I getting out my back pedal? Am I getting out my brakes? The details. And that's probably what it was through life, is the details, So that's really my story, man. Overcoming a lot of obstacles in my life made me who I am today, so I can, one, take care of my family, so my daughters see that, hey, my dad works hard, to get where he's at. So it strives for them to be independent and work hard to be successful. And then also training the athletes that come through First Step and FSA Pick 6 is, hey, I have to work hard at this point right now. Nobody's watching me. So when they see me on Saturdays or Friday nights, say, hey, you know what? I've been putting this work in, day out, to be successful on and off the field.
And, man, I could talk about you all day, man. Just because I'm from Duville, you got me all, I think my allergies are kicking up a little bit right now. But from Duville, and I've seen you train the athletes in First Step, definitely want to give you a shout out. Quincy Amos is really kind of your first real major client that you had, young kid. Got his first D1 football scholarship offer last week from Columbia University, an Ivy League school.
Ivy League, man. That's
congratulations
big.
to you, man, because I know, we know the family. The family are A1 people, but I just know that your mentoring, your coaching, your guidance, your attention to detail, your true passion for wanting Quincy to be the best version of Quincy. You deserve a lot of credit for that, man. Now, Quincy put in the work, right, but he showed up and he listened and he learned and he learned and he really took what you got, what you had to offer, man. And I just think everything you talked about in your whole entire story is why you are who you are, because you've had to overcome so much that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Would you change anything?
I would change. I would change one thing. That day when I took my first tryout, I would change that day and possibly would have signed and then got to experience of being a professional. A whole different level. Doing 2 different professional combines. My first one, it was all D1 coaches. It was from North Texas, and that was a great experience. It was very, very organized, very detailed. They gave some great feedback. And then going to my second combine I did in Frisco, Texas, there was a lot more NFL coaches there. And they were very like, this is what I want. This is what I want to see. Make it happen. Like, do it, And it wasn't coaching. Like, they were like, they expect you already know how to do these certain things. And it was like different type of preparation to be an NFL athlete, So I think, like, if I would have made that first offer and got signed with the Tulsa Towns, I think that would have taken a whole different direction in my life, But like I said, it happened for a reason. It is what it is. And like I said, I still was being successful. Maybe not in my eyes of seeing it, but through eyes of others, I was being successful. I had graduated college. I got a college education. I was working. I was a manager. You know what I'm saying? So I was still being somewhat successful in life, but through my eyes, I didn't feel that way in front of my family because of failing the test. You feel like a failure. You're working 3 jobs, you're breaking your back. I'm like, man, I don't feel like I'm being successful at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here grinding. Like, I feel like I'm still struggling,
Right.
But, through it all, I was being successful. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different part of a different, how you say it, like I guess a different aspect.
It was grooming you.
Yeah. It was. There you go. It was grooming me. Yeah. It was grooming me for something much better. And maybe that's what God was doing. God was grooming me for something much better. and he put in place the teaching certification and first step athletics and FSA Pick 6, and that's what I do. When school lets out, I'm training. And Quincy, like I said, Quincy was my first one-on-one DB athlete that I was training, and many others came through there. Andre Mobley, he's at West Texas A&M. Like I said, we were doing stuff for him. Andrew comes through there. I got some new guys. Another Quincy is young eighth grader. Miles Rivera, he's one of my young DBs that comes through there doing an awesome job. Billy Garcia, doing an awesome job. I got a young new man, Brandon Martinez, comes through for DB training. Ayla Gonzalez, she comes through and does speed and agility with me. It's not just DBs. Like, I get all different types of kids. It's just amazing, how many Caden comes through there. He plays over at O'Connor, when did it get better. Shout out to my guy Christian out in Floresville, but a young cat. I think he's 9, plays middle linebacker. Work with him. What's called Joseph Jaden Cruz over at John Jay, middle linebacker. He had like a heck of a season playing Mike linebacker. Man, he had like a couple of interceptions, some sacks and stuff. I mean, one time we worked on a drill, and he shoots through the line in the game, and the same exact thing we worked on, and makes a sack in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? Safety, crazy. Not even going towards like the pro athletes I trained. Derek Roberson, his mom hit me up and saying, hey, that he was getting drafted and he had to work out. And we were working him out at Soccer Zone at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I remember that.
Gerald Christensen for the Arizona Cardinals. He was playing for the AFL. Got him ready to play football for the AFL. So I mean, a lot of guys have came through First Step Athletics and FSA Pick 6. So I mean, I'm just giving back to what I know, to help these young men or professional athletes now get to the next level, get to where they need to be at. So my hat's off to the man upstairs. God put me here for a reason. Because like I said, I should be pushing a wheelchair, and I'm not. So.
Well, B. McCoy, man, listen, when we start doing this thing live, I'm going to have to get you on here. We still do some recordings right now, but once we get this thing going live at some point, you got to come and chop it up, man, because we could talk forever. I think me and you could just
talk man. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to come into the little studio, man, and come see you guys, man, and be on there, man. It's a blessing that you invited me on here. Like I said, you had me train Boo Boo the other day, and great young man. I remember when he was a little guy. Now look at him, man. He's a monster, man. And like I said, it's just the beginning for him, man. So definitely get him out there. You definitely get him out there when you can, and definitely let me know when the next show is. I'd love to be on.
Hey, tell me one of your famous quotes before we leave to one of these ads.
One of the famous quotes you put me on, man.
Yeah,
put me on there. Hey, one of my favorite quotes, man. Like I said, Les Brown. You can always better your best.
You can always better. I don't know how many times I've heard that. That's the one I thought you were gonna go with. You can always better your
I
best.
love that one, man. Les Brown. Shout out to Les Brown. I'm a big motivational person. I listen to a lot of the motivational stuff. Steve Harvey, T.D. Jakes. But that one always stuck with me, man. You can always better your best.
All right. Well, B. McCoy, man, appreciate you having the time to talk to us and tell us a little. I mean, just snippets of different parts of your life, the different obstacles you overcame, and I really hope this encourages somebody one day that may think that it's not going to happen for them, or whatever they want to happen for them is not. So they just keep pressing through and keep pushing, and always better your best.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, B. McCoy. I'll let you know, man. I'll be talking to you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Man. Later.
Bye.
So that was Brandon McCoy. Again, another episode of Everyday People, man. Brandon's, we try to keep these things relatively short so you can get in and out and listen to him maybe on the drive home. But that dude's got a story, and hopefully you were impacted. And if you've ever been discouraged in your life, something hasn't gone your way, I mean, I know he's taken that test at least 8 times, and it finally came through for him. So congratulations, B. McCoy, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Everyday People.